More than 60 years ago, a strange family entered television history. They were not like any family America had ever seen. They loved haunted houses, mysterious creatures, and things that would make normal people run away screaming. But behind the dark mansion, strange humor, and unforgettable characters, the real stories of the actors were even more surprising. One actress became the face of the most famous Gothic woman on television. But her final years were filled with a battle she never wanted the world to see.
One child star who played the original Wednesday Addams became part of a completely different Hollywood story years later. And one cast member's life after the show was so unexpected, fans could hardly believe it. Today, we look back at the Addams Family cast then and now. The secrets, struggles, and shocking stories behind the characters millions of people still remember. Stay until the end, because one cast member disappeared from Hollywood completely, and the reason why is something most fans never knew.
Chapter 1. Carolyn Jones as Morticia Addams. Carolyn Jones was 34 years old when the Addams Family premiered in 1964. She stepped into television history wearing a long black dress with a calm expression and a voice that made darkness look elegant. She was Morticia Addams. But what viewers saw on screen was only one side of Carolyn Jones' incredible journey. Morticia was unlike any other television mother of that era. She was graceful, intelligent, mysterious, and completely comfortable with the unusual world around her. While other sitcom families were worried about everyday problems, Morticia enjoyed strange plants, unusual hobbies, and a mansion filled with things that would scare most people.
But the secret behind the character was this. Carolyn Jones was not just playing a strange woman. She was creating one of the most iconic female characters in television history. Born on April 28, 1930, in Amarillo, Texas, Carolyn developed a passion for acting at a young age. She dreamed of Hollywood and worked hard to build a career in an industry that was extremely competitive. Before becoming Morticia, Carolyn had already proven herself as a serious actress. She appeared in films and television projects and gained respect for her talent. In 1957, she received an Academy Award nomination for her role in The Bachelor Party, showing that she was much more than just a television performer. Then came the role that changed her life. Morticia Addams. When she appeared alongside John Astin's Gomez Addams, audiences saw something completely different. Their relationship was strange, but also one of the most loving marriages ever shown on television. Gomez and Morticia were passionate, loyal, and deeply connected. That chemistry became one of the biggest reasons fans still remember the original series. But behind the scenes, Carolyn's personal life had challenges of its own. She experienced difficult moments in relationships, and the pressure that came with being recognized everywhere as Morticia.
After the Addams Family ended in 1966, she continued acting in television and film. However, the role of Morticia followed her forever. Fans always remembered the actress who made elegance, mystery, and darkness feel beautiful. Years later, Carolyn faced the biggest challenge of her life. She was diagnosed with colon cancer. The actress who played a character that seemed calm in every situation was now fighting a private battle away from the cameras. Even during her illness, she showed strength and continued working when possible. Her final years were difficult, but her influence never disappeared. Carolyn Jones passed away on August 3, 1983, at the age of 53. Her life ended much earlier than fans expected, but Morticia Addams remained alive through reruns, new adaptations, and generations of viewers who discovered the character again and again. The woman who made a black dress, a quiet smile, and a mysterious personality unforgettable became a true television legend.
Chapter 2. Lisa Loring as Wednesday Addams. Lisa Loring was only 6 years old when The Addams Family premiered in 1964. At an age when most children were just beginning school, Lisa was already creating television history. She was the first actress to bring Wednesday Addams to life. Today, Wednesday is one of the most famous fictional characters in the world. But before the modern versions, before the worldwide popularity, there was Lisa Loring. Her version of Wednesday was different. She was not loud or dramatic. She was quiet, serious, and strangely charming. Lisa made audiences understand that Wednesday was not scary. She was simply a child who saw the world differently. Born on February 16, 1958, in the Marshall Islands, Lisa began working as a child performer very early. She appeared in commercials and small acting projects before landing the role that would define her career. When she joined the Addams Family, nobody knew the character would survive for decades. But Lisa's performance created the foundation, the serious expression, the unusual personality, the calm reaction. Many young actors struggle when the spotlight fades, and Lisa experienced the challenge of growing up after becoming famous at such a young age. After the show ended, she continued acting for a period of time, but eventually moved away from Hollywood Center. Her life took different directions, away from television fame, but fans never forgot her. Whenever people talked about Wednesday Addams, Lisa Loring's name was always part of the conversation. She remained connected with fans who appreciated her role as the original Wednesday. The surprising thing was that the little girl who created one of television's darkest characters eventually lived a much quieter life away from the cameras. Lisa Loring passed away on January 28, 2023, at the age of 64 after suffering a stroke. Her passing reminded fans around the world of the beginning of Wednesday's story. She was the first person who showed audiences the strange but unforgettable daughter of the Addams Family. Chapter 3. Blossom Rock as Grandmama Addams. Blossom Rock was 69 years old when the Addams Family premiered in 1964. She was already an experienced performer long before audiences met her as Grandmama Addams. Inside the Addams mansion, Grandmama was the family's mysterious grandmother. She created potions, practiced unusual activities, and brought a completely different energy to the household. But the woman behind the character had lived through an entire era of entertainment. Blossom Rock was born Marie Blake on August 21, 1895, in Philadelphia. Her career began during a time when stage performances and vaudeville were major forms of entertainment. She spent years developing her skills before television became the dominant force in American homes. By the time she joined the Addams Family, she was not a beginner. She brought decades of experience into the role. Grandmama was funny because she treated unusual things as completely normal. A strange experiment, a mysterious recipe, a bizarre family tradition. To Grandmama, it was just another day. That was the charm of the Addams Family. They were never afraid of being different. After the series ended, Blossom Rock continued working, but Grandmama remained her most remembered role. She became part of a classic television family that audiences still celebrate today. Her career represented a different generation of Hollywood performers who helped shape the entertainment industry. Blossom Rock passed away on January 14, 1978, at the age of 82. She left behind a character that continues to make audiences smile more than 6 decades later. The Addams Family may have been fictional, but the actors who created them became a real part of television history. Chapter 4. Jackie Coogan as Uncle Fester. Jackie Coogan was 49 years old when the Addams Family premiered in 1964. By the time he entered the strange world of the Addams Mansion, he was already a Hollywood survivor with a story that was almost unbelievable. He played Uncle Fester, the bald, energetic, and completely unpredictable member of the family. Fester was the kind of character who could enjoy sitting on a bed of nails, play with dangerous inventions, and still appear like the sweetest person in the room. But behind that funny face was one of Hollywood's most dramatic journeys. Jackie Coogan was born on October 26, 1914, in Los Angeles, California. Long before becoming Uncle Fester, he was one of the biggest child stars in the world. As a young boy, Jackie became famous after starring alongside Charlie Chaplin in The Kid in 1921. The movie turned him into a worldwide sensation. Millions of fans knew his name.
He was one of the first true child celebrities in Hollywood, but years later, his story took a shocking turn. After becoming an adult, Jackie discovered that much of the money he earned as a child performer was no longer available to him. His personal fight over his childhood earnings became famous and helped inspire new protections for child actors. The same young star who changed Hollywood rules would later become the unforgettable Uncle Fester. When Jackie joined the Addams Family, he brought years of experience to the role. He made Fester funny, lovable, and completely unique. The character could have been frightening, but Jackie gave him warmth. That was the secret. Audiences did not see Uncle Fester as strange. They saw him as family.
After the show ended in 1966, Jackie continued appearing in films and television. He had already lived through silent films, the golden age of Hollywood, and the television era. Few performers had experienced so many different generations of entertainment. But his life continued to have challenges. He dealt with personal struggles and health problems while remaining connected to acting. The world remembered him for the character who could light a bulb with his mouth. The image became one of the most famous moments from the original series. Jackie Coogan passed away on March 1st, 1984, at the age of 69. His journey was extraordinary. He went from child superstar to Hollywood pioneer to the beloved Uncle Fester of the Addams Family.
Chapter 5. Ted Cassidy as Lurch. Ted Cassidy was 31 years old when the Addams Family premiered in 1964. When viewers first saw Lurch standing inside the Addams mansion, they immediately noticed something different. He was extremely tall. He had a powerful voice, and he moved with a slow, unforgettable style. But the biggest surprise was that this intimidating character became one of the most loved members of the family. Ted Cassidy was the man behind Lurch. Born on July 31st, 1932, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Ted had a physical presence that made him stand out. Standing over 6 feet 9 inches tall, he looked like someone Hollywood had never seen before. But his real talent was not just his appearance. It was his voice. That deep, unforgettable voice became his trademark. When he said the famous line, "You rang," fans instantly knew who he was. Lurch was supposed to be the scary butler, but Ted Cassidy gave him something unexpected, a gentle personality. He made audiences laugh because underneath the serious face was a loyal and caring character. The popularity of Lurch became so huge that the character even inspired a dance craze during the 1960s. Ted became recognized everywhere. After the Addams Family ended, his career continued in a different direction. He became highly respected as a voice actor. Many people heard his voice in animated shows and movies without even realizing it was him. His voice had a rare quality that made characters instantly memorable. However, behind the success, Ted faced serious health problems. He suffered from medical complications that affected his later years. In 1979, he underwent surgery, but complications followed. Ted Cassidy passed away on January 16, 1979, at the age of 46. His life ended far too soon, but the character he created remained alive. Lurch was not remembered because he was frightening. He was remembered because Ted Cassidy made him unforgettable.
Chapter 6. John Astin as Gomez Addams. John Astin was 34 years old when the Addams Family premiered in 1964. He became the man who brought energy, passion, and humor to one of television's most unusual husbands, Gomez Addams. Gomez was different from every sitcom father before him. He loved adventure. He loved strange hobbies. And most importantly, he absolutely loved Morticia.
The relationship between Gomez and Morticia became one of the most memorable romances in television history.
John Astin was born on March 30th, 1930, in Baltimore, Maryland. Before becoming Gomez, he studied mathematics, but eventually discovered his love for acting. He worked through theater and television before finding the role that changed his career. When he played Gomez, he created a character full of excitement and personality. Gomez was wealthy, dramatic, and completely unpredictable. But John Astin made him lovable. He showed that a strange family could still have a strong bond. After the Addams Family ended, John continued acting across many decades. Unlike many classic television stars who disappeared from the industry, he kept working. He appeared in movies, television programs, and stage productions. Later generations also recognized him from other projects, proving that his career lasted far beyond Gomez Addams. His personal life also became part of public attention. He became the father of actor Mackenzie Astin and remained connected to entertainment for many years. The most remarkable thing about John Astin's story is that he is the final surviving main cast member from the original Addams Family. In 2026, John Astin is 95 years old. The man who played the passionate, strange, and unforgettable Gomez Addams remains a living connection to the beginning of the franchise.
Chapter 7. Ken Weatherwax as Pugsley Addams. Ken Weatherwax was 9 years old when the Addams Family premiered in 1964. He played Pugsley Addams, the cheerful, curious, and slightly mischievous son of Gomez and Morticia. While Wednesday was known for her serious personality, Pugsley was the opposite. He was playful, energetic, and always ready for another strange adventure inside the Addams mansion. But behind the character was a young actor whose life after fame took a completely different direction. Ken Weatherwax was born on September 29, 1955, in Los Angeles, California. Acting was already part of his childhood. He came from a family connected to entertainment, and he entered the industry at a very young age.
When he joined the Addams Family, he quickly became recognizable to millions of viewers. Pugsley was not a typical television child. He enjoyed unusual experiments, strange inventions, and the family's bizarre lifestyle. But what made Ken's performance special was how naturally he fit into the strange world of the Addams Family. He did not act like the family was unusual. To him, they were simply normal. That was the secret behind the show's humor. After the Addams Family ended in 1966, Ken continued acting for a short period. But like many child stars, moving from childhood fame into adult life was challenging. Eventually, he stepped away from acting and chose a quieter path. The young boy who once appeared every week beside one of television's most famous families later lived a much more private life away from Hollywood. Fans who remembered him as Pugsley were surprised to see how different his life became. He was no longer the child actor inside the creepy mansion. He became someone who preferred a life away from the spotlight. Ken Weatherwax passed away on December 7, 2014, at the age of 59 after suffering a heart attack. His death brought back memories of the original Addams Family. He was one of the children who helped make the show feel like a real family. Even though his acting career was short, his role remained unforgettable. Ken Weatherwax was only 9 years old when he became Pugsley Addams, and decades later, fans still remember him as the original son of television's strangest family. The Addams Family was never just a normal sitcom. It became a piece of television history. Behind the strange mansion, dark humor, and unforgettable characters were real people with incredible stories. Some became legends. Some faced heartbreaking struggles. And some quietly walked away from fame. Which Addams Family cast member surprised you the most? Tell us in the comments. And if you enjoyed discovering the hidden stories behind classic shows, subscribe to Screen Rewind for more unforgettable cast stories from television history.